Today we're gonna do what is your favorite stratagem in Helldivers 2 say about you. A quick note that this is just for fun and a silly little video, so am I gonna be accurate always? Not always, and please don't get offended, they're just jokes, it's just for fun. With that out of the way, let's start analyzing you. The EXO45 Patriot Exosuit. You're the kind of person who lives and breathes by the saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It works good enough, why would I change it? Sure, there are better things out there now, but the thing you have currently still works, so why would you replace it? I feel like a lot of your belongings are probably held together with duct tape, a dream, and maybe a dash of hope. Like, you probably have a lawnmower that works perfectly fine. Yes, you have to sometimes pull start it 6 different times and you have to hold it a very certain way, but it works. Why would I get a new phone charger? Yes, you have to stand on one foot and face south, but if you do that just right, it still works. The 500 kg bomb. I feel like you care so much about appearances that you have this unhealthy obsession with things that other people really don't care that much about. Like, at the end of Helldivers 2, you'll say, yes, I have the most kills. Everyone look at this, I have the most kills. Ignoring that you probably also have the most deaths, no objectives completed, but you do have the most kills. When you play games like Fortnite, you'll probably never win, because you're honestly not good enough to win by yourself, but you do have the limited edition exclusive skins, so you will lose in style. Your PC has at least 6 different RGB fans, all the fancy bells and whistles, maybe even one of those like hollow waifu things that stands on top that it looks great, but it still has a 1080 in it and 16 gigs of RAM. The gas mines. This is probably going to be a deep cut that all of like 3 people will understand. But every time I go to Walmart and I'm walking around, you look at everything, I come across these monstrosities. The Fuggler dolls. These absolutely ugly things that I think, who in the world wants an absolutely ugly doll? And the answer is the people who like the gas mines. I'm guessing there's probably some sort of childhood trauma about rejection or your parents not giving you enough attention, whatever it may be, but you have this deep, deep need to make sure that everything is love. So when you're walking through the grocery store and you see the ugly doll that no one wants, you think, it is my duty to love that ugly doll because no one else will. When you're going through the vegetable aisle, you grab all the ugly fruits and vegetables because, well, no one else is going to want these, so I've got to do it. It's kind of admirable when you think about it. The one true flag. If this is your absolute favorite stratagem, the kind of stratagem you bring on every single mission, I guarantee that when you play Pokemon games, you're the kind of person who has a full team of all damaging moves. There's not a single growl, not a single leer, there's no boosting moves, it's all pure damage. You play the game how you want to play the game. I also get the distinct feeling that you hate Dungeons and Dragons, because in theory, it sounds really cool. You can do anything you want, you've got this huge wide open world, and then you find out there's 1,000 rules and you can't play the way that you want to play, so you feel too restricted by the thousands of rules because every time you want to do something cool, the DM says, well, you actually can't do that, or that's not actually how that works, and that's frustrated you to no end, so you're just like, you know what, I'm not going to play this anymore. The Railgun. You are a millennial boomer. And what I mean by that is, you're, quote, old at heart. You don't go out drinking on the weekends, you go to bed at a reasonable hour, you get up at 5 a.m. You just find yourself doing what old people do, even though you're not technically an old people just yet. Like, if millennials could afford a house, you'd be out there yelling at the children to get off your lawn. And like, if your best friend called you, it was like, dude, where were you last night? Jessica got so wasted. Your first thought is, oh wow, you had so much fun. It's, oh my goodness. Is she okay? Do we need to bring her aspirin? Is there anything we can do for her? The Orbital 120mm High Explosive Barrage. This is your wake-up call. I'm going to get close to the mic and I'm going to say it. And I'm going to say it and I want you to listen very closely. You have commitment issues. Either you've been dating for like 5 years and there's no proposal in sight, or you're afraid to date anyone because you're not sure you'll ever get married. Here's my logic behind it. The 180 Barrage isn't bad per se, but the 380 and the Napalm Barrage are right there, and they're objectively better in every single way. And yet, here you are using the worst of all the options. I just think you're afraid to commit to the bigger explosions. You want the shorter cooldown, because what if you need some more explosions a little bit later? I just feel like you're a little indecisive. This is your wake-up call. Look in the mirror. The Orbital Laser. You are lazy. But I don't mean that in a bad or derogatory way. I specifically mean the kind of lazy that innovates the world. Like, when you were in high school, you were the kind of kid who would spend more time calculating exactly how many questions you needed to answer correctly to get a C than you would just studying so you could get an A. I guarantee you work an office job, the kind where you sit in a cubicle for 8 hours a day, and you have 8 hours of work, but over the last few years, you've automated it and created so many hacks that you realistically only have like 5 hours of real work to do, and the rest of the time you're just sitting there waiting for the day to end, looking at emails and browsing Reddit. The M102 Fast Recon Vehicle. Now this one I'm not 100% sure on. This is like my conspiracy theory. This is an inkling of a feeling, but I feel like I'm right. You have at least 10,000 reaction memes on your computer or phone right now. And you use them to be an absolute menace. Like, your friend will text you and be like, man, my girlfriend just broke up with me. And you'll just reply. I also feel like you like to participate in the devil's lettuce. I don't know why, I just have that feeling, you know? The Sterilizer. When you play games like World of Warcraft or any MMO or anything where there's a healer, you are always gonna be the healer. You take the most thankless and boring job that nobody else wants to do, and you do it. You're not there for fame, you're not there for glory. You'll never finish with the most kills, you'll never have the most objectives completed. You are the unsung hero who sits in the background and helps everyone else to achieve their dreams and goals without any recognition yourself. It's a thankless job, and you're willing to do it. Why? Nobody knows. But here you are. The Stalwart. A simple man, again, who knows what he likes. You like a lot of bullets, you get a lot of bullets. The Stalwart fulfills a very simple base need, just like the 500 kg where you just want big booms. The Stalwart is, I want a lot of bullets, I'm gonna shoot a lot of bullets. Now, this is probably way too deep of a cut, and all of 2 people will understand me, because I love shooting a lot of bullets. If you played Metal Gear Solid 1, you could get a bandana that gave you infinite ammo. If you got the FAMAS, you could shoot down the FAMAS until you got the tracer bullets, and then put on the bandana and fire a rainbow volley and mow down enemies by the hundreds. If the Stalwart is your favorite weapon, I feel like you probably did that very thing in Metal Gear Solid 1. If you didn't play Metal Gear Solid 1 because you're too young or missed it, then at least you play like Battlefield or Call of Duty using the heavy machine guns. Even though they're not meta, you just want to fire a lot of bullets downrange, and that is the only fantasy you want to live out. The Autocannon. I feel like you probably have some low-grade form of ADHD that manifests itself in the jack-of-all-trades kind of thing, where you don't want to be a master at the piano, but you want to learn how to play it. So once you're good enough at the piano, you then move on to the guitar, and then you do knitting, and then you're doing Morse code, and then you're doing some other art project, and then you're doing woodworking, and then you're back to needlepoint, and you've done 1,000 different arts, and you're good at all of them. You're not great at any of them, but you're good enough at most of them. As we approach the 10-minute mark, it is time for you to put in the comments down below if I was accurate or not. I will do a part 2 if it is requested, so if you want to see a part 2, also put that in the comments. And as always, have a blessed day.